She said it was a girl's night. But I saw her, clear as glass, reflected in the bastard's aviators, laughing like nothing mattered. My gut twisted. The cheating slut didn't know I was watching. That reflection burned itself into me. I didn't speak. I just started planning her fall. It started with her scent. Ashley always wore something light, jasmine, maybe vanilla, whatever it was, it clung to her skin like an afterthought. But that night, when she left in a rush, her perfume was loud. New. Expensive. It hung in the hallway like it wanted to be caught. That wasn't her usual. She said, "It's just the girls. Dinner, maybe drinks." No eye contact, just grabbing her purse while tapping out something fast on her phone. Her nails clicked the screen like gunfire. I remember the shoes, tall, pointed, beige stilettos I hadn't seen in months. The kind that turn necks. She didn't wear those with her friends. "I'll be back late," she tossed over her shoulder. No kiss. No glance back. It was a Saturday. I was supposed to be at my buddy Greg's place for poker. I told her I might crash there if things ran late. She nodded like she didn't care either way. Maybe she didn't. But plans change. Greg's kid came down with a fever, so we canceled. I didn't tell Ashley. Just let her go, watched her taillights fade out into the cold suburban dark. Out of habit, I scrolled through Instagram on the couch. That's when I saw it. A photo on a local bar's tagged feed. Not her account, she wasn't that careless. Someone else's. A guy I didn't recognize, standing with his buddies in the patio area. They were drinking, loud, loose. Just guys. But in his sunglasses, mirrored aviators, you could see a reflection. A woman. Blonde. Laughing. Leaning in. Her outline sharp enough to trace. Those beige stilettos. I zoomed in. My thumb trembled. Her hand was on his thigh. That reflection shattered something. Not rage, not yet. Something cleaner. Colder. I didn't scream or call or rush to the bar. I just sat still. Let the pieces arrange themselves. I knew what I had seen. And more importantly, I knew she didn't know I had seen it. That was my edge. She came home at 1:12 a.m. I stayed in bed, eyes shut, breathing steady. Her heels clicked against the hardwood. Then silence. No shower. No excuses. She slid into bed like nothing had happened. Next morning, she made coffee like she always did. Said she had a headache. Wore sunglasses indoors. I looked at her. Really looked. The woman in front of me was polished, smiling faintly, hair pulled back in a careless bun. But I could still see her in those aviators. Laughing. Touching. Lying. And I smiled back. Because from that moment on, I wasn't her husband anymore. I was her shadow. 3 days later, I found the hair. It was wrapped around the collar of my black wool coat, the one Ashley never touches, the one I hang on the far left hook by the garage door. A long, single strand of platinum blonde, knotted like a whisper. Ashley's hair is darker. Golden brown. Thicker. I held the strand between my fingers. Felt the texture. Fine. Silky. Not hers. I didn't confront her. I didn't even move it. Just left it there, like bait. That night, she walked past the coat, paused, and plucked it off like lint. Said nothing. Tossed it in the trash with a fake casual flick. I watched her the whole time. She's good at pretending. That's what made it worse. She's always been convincing, warm, present, affectionate when needed. She hugs with both arms. She asks follow-up questions. She leaves little sticky notes on the fridge with reminders like, "Drink water, dummy." It's all texture. Distraction. After the reflection in the sunglasses, I started noticing more. The patterns. The breaks in them. Like how she now showers right after coming home, no matter what time it is. Her shampoo smells different. Her underwear drawer shifted, sexier pairs moved to the back, like they were hiding. I played my part. Brought her wine while she soaked in the tub. Rubbed her shoulders while she scrolled through Instagram. She smiled up at me. "You've been sweet lately," she said. "Everything okay?" I nodded. "Just happy." She kissed my cheek. "I like this version of you." That stung more than I'll admit. Not because I missed her, but because she thought I was still fooled. She wanted this version of me, compliant, warm, half asleep. The men she could betray without consequence. That night, she fell asleep early, phone on her nightstand. I waited until her breathing leveled out. Face ID is a wonderful lie when your wife sleeps on her side. I angled the phone, got in. Didn't dig too deep, just enough to mark the patterns. Messages wiped. Photos too clean. Notes empty. But the recent calls were there. 2 numbers with no names. Repeated. Late at night. One was New York. One was local. I copied them down. Then I took a screenshot and deleted it. Left no trace. The next morning, I brought her coffee in bed. She looked up, surprised. "You're really on a roll," she said, sipping. I smiled. Trying to be better. She leaned in, kissed my jaw. "Keep this up, and I might just fall in love with you again." That was the moment something inside me snapped, not loud, not wild. Just a small, dry break. Like a twig under snow. Because I didn't want her love. I wanted the truth. And I wanted her to watch it collapse. A week passed. I let the rot breathe. I started echoing her. Not out loud, in behavior. I came home late without explanation. Took long showers. Left my phone face down. I'd catch her glancing, her expression flat. No questions. Just subtle recalculations. That's when I knew she was watching me now. She thought I was drifting. Slipping. Maybe she thought she'd finally broken me. Ashley started leaning back in, slowly. She made my favorite pasta on a Tuesday. Lit candles. Wore lipstick. Even played that old playlist we used to put on during road trips. I let it wash over me. I didn't react. She hated that. The next morning, I caught her watching me dress for work. She didn't speak, just watched. Like she was trying to find the edge of something. "Is there someone else?" she finally asked. I looked up from my tie. "What?" She smiled, but it didn't reach her eyes. "You've been distant." "It's okay. I just want the truth." Truth. The irony tasted like copper. "I'm just tired," I said. "Work's been heavy." She nodded. But something in her posture stiffened. Like she didn't believe me, or worse, like she did and was disappointed. She walked out without kissing me. That night, I went to a bar on the other side of town. Not to drink. Just to think. The bartender was a guy named Theo. I struck up conversation, easy and forgettable. Bought a round for the couple next to me. Just noise. Just alibi. At 10:47 p.m., I texted her, "Staying late. Don't wait up." 2 minutes later, "Okay." No questions. No concern. Just a red heart and radio silence. When I got home at midnight, she was already asleep. Or pretending. Her back was to me, breathing steady. I stood in the doorway for a full minute, watching. She stirred once. Didn't speak. Next day, I took a half day from work and drove to a car detailing place across town. The guy behind the counter owed me a favor. We'd done some small contract work for his cousin a year back. "Can you check something for me?" I asked. He nodded. I handed over Ashley's car. She thought it was in for a routine tire rotation. I wasn't looking for lipstick or receipts. I was looking for location data. Syncs. Bluetooth history. The car remembered everything. The system had last synced to a phone at the Anchor Room, same bar where I saw her in the sunglasses reflection. Synced 3 times. Late nights. Same number that had called her 4 times in the past 2 weeks. The contact name had been deleted. But the system remembered it. See. That was enough. I didn't rage. I didn't cry. I shook his hand, paid cash, and drove the car back like nothing had changed. That night, she came home early. Said she missed me. I feel like we've been off, she said. I want to fix it. I looked at her. Really looked. The way her voice trembled just enough. The way her eyes glistened on cue. And then she hugged me. Held me for a long time. Like she thought I was still stupid. Like she didn't realize I'd already stepped out of the wreck. Ashley started reaching for me again. Not just physically, though that, too. Her hands lingered longer. Her voice softened. She asked about my day like it meant something. Laughed at jokes that weren't funny. It was mechanical. A rehearsed warmth. I played along. Let her kiss me. Let her curl against me at night. But every time her skin touched mine, all I saw was the reflection in those sunglasses. Her leaning in. Her hand on his thigh. Her body didn't lie, but her touch did. I started laying traps. Subtle ones. I brought up names she didn't expect, mutual friends, old co-workers. Watching her face twitch at each one, measuring what I knew, what I could know. Didn't you say Claire was in town? I asked one night. Her fork paused midair. Claire. Yeah, from the old gallery. You said she moved back, right? Ashley blinked. Oh. Right. Yeah. I think she did. Haven't seen her though. I never mentioned Claire. Claire never moved. But Ashley nodded like it was gospel, scared to challenge me. She didn't remember her own lies. That made her dangerous. But also predictable. Every Friday, she said she had yoga. A class that, until recently, she'd been religious about. Now she came back glowing. Flushed. Too flushed. I followed once. Not close. Just enough to watch from the parking lot. She walked in, yoga mat, ponytail, water bottle. The whole image. I waited. 20 minutes passed. Then she walked back out the side door. Got into a different car. The license plate was from Jersey. I memorized it. That night, I made steak. Rare. She loved it that way. You're really turning a corner, she said, chewing slow, eyes soft. I like this version of us. Us. I nodded. Me too. Maybe we should take a weekend somewhere, she added. Just get away. Reconnect. I tilted my head. Reconnect from what? She froze. Just a half-second pause. Barely enough to catch. But I caught it. Her hand brushed mine. From the stress. You know. Work. Life. We've both been distracted. Distraction. That's what she was calling it now. I cleared the dishes. She poured more wine. Later that night, as she brushed her teeth, I opened her laptop. She never used it much. Claimed her phone was easier. But old habits linger in the dust. I checked the email trash first. Nothing there. Then the drafts. One message. Never sent. Just a line, he's starting to act different. I think he knows. No name. No address. Just sitting there, unsent. I left it. Closed the laptop. In bed, she curled into me like a girl who still believed in fairy tales. Do you still love me? She whispered. I didn't answer right away. Then, of course. Because sometimes, the best lie is the one she wants to believe. Ashley left her iPad open one night. Screen dimmed but not locked. I wasn't even looking for it. Just passing by the kitchen on my way to turn off the outside light. But there it was, glowing faintly. Like it wanted to be seen. A synced message thread. iMessage. She never used it on that device, at least not that I ever saw. But iCloud doesn't lie. The thread was labeled C. Same initial as the one in the car's sync history. Same number I traced to a contact out of Newark. The guy with the sunglasses. I scrolled. The messages weren't constant. She was smart, just enough to stay connected without a trail. But not smart enough to kill the sync. You looked unbelievable tonight. He doesn't suspect anything. I'm trying to keep it clean. Just in case. And then one that made my pulse freeze. If things get messy, I'll say he was distant. Checked out. He won't fight it. He hates drama. That's what I was to her now, an exit strategy. A character she could rewrite to fit the ending she wanted. And then the photos. Nothing explicit. Just little things. Her lips. His car. A hotel room door with a key card on the nightstand. She'd blurred the edges of it all. Made it look like some distant, beautiful escape. But it wasn't escape. It was erasure. She was already rebuilding her story, one where I was the distant, inattentive husband, and she was the lonely wife who tried her best. That's when I stopped reading. I didn't need the rest. Because I wasn't going to confront her. I was going to build something she couldn't rewrite. I started collecting. First, the Bluetooth logs from her car. Took screenshots. Backed them up. Then, the iMessage thread, screen recorded slowly, with timestamps. Photos too. Saved to a hidden drive, double encrypted. I ordered a voice recorder disguised as a USB charger. Plugged it into the wall near the kitchen island, the one spot she always paces when she's anxious. Then I waited. 2 days later, she was on the phone. I was out for groceries. She didn't notice the red light. No, I'm still with him. Yeah. I know, he's not dumb, but he's slow to act. Honestly, I think part of him knows and just doesn't want to face it. It's pathetic. That was enough. Not just the cheating. The lies. The choreography. But the contempt. She didn't just want to leave me. She wanted to humiliate me. Quietly. Carefully. To exit as the wounded bird, wings clipped by my neglect. I backed up the recording. Sent a decoy file to a dummy email only I had access to. The rest went on a drive I kept under a false bottom in the toolbox. When she got home, she kissed me on the cheek. Missed you, she said. I smiled. You always say that. She laughed. What, you don't believe me? I held her gaze. Every time you say it, I believe you less. She tilted her head like she was about to challenge me. But then, she blinked. Laughed it off. You're in a weird mood. I guess I am. Because what she didn't know was that her script was over. She'd built a lie. I built a file. And when it dropped, there'd be no edits. No save point. No rewrite. The day I decided to end it started like any other. Sunlight spilled across the kitchen tile. Ashley was humming, some upbeat nothing, while scrambling eggs she wouldn't eat. She poured coffee into my mug without asking, kissed my cheek like she hadn't erased me. The woman was a mirage. She wore a robe I bought her on our honeymoon. Said it made her feel grounded. Now it just looked like camouflage. But I was past rage. Past ache. I was building. I'd already spoken to 2 lawyers. Quiet conversations in anonymous offices downtown. I didn't ask about divorce first, I asked about leverage. Timing. Power. Both agreed, collect everything, strike once, leave no openings. Ashley thought she was 10 steps ahead. But she was dancing on a floor I'd already pulled out from under her. I set up the final sync, her iPad, phone, and laptop all mirrored to a cloud she didn't know existed. A clone I could access from anywhere. Everything she touched now passed through me. I even got into her backup texts, the ones she thought she'd deleted. iCloud's retention logs filled in the blanks. A few stood out. You think he'll ever actually do something? He's passive. That's why I can't respect him. Maybe he'll just cheat too. Then we're even. Even. Like it was math. Like she hadn't already broken the formula. Her lover, I finally got a name. Christian Mathers. Mid-30s. Runs a small fitness consultancy. Multiple LLCs. 2 cease and desist orders filed in the last 5 years. A friend of a friend looked into him deeper, public records, client lists, flagged complaints from former partners. The man was a parasite with a six-pack. Ashley had chosen him not because he was stable. She chose him because he wasn't. That was the point. She didn't want comfort. She wanted chaos. So I gave her both. I scheduled a private notary. Drafted a financial separation agreement, clean, cold, legal. All joint accounts to be frozen upon my signature. Home ownership transferring to me based on inheritance laws from my father's estate, which I confirmed she had no claim to. But the real piece. A timeline. One that proved she was with Christian while still coming to therapy with me, pretending to work on us. I attached screenshots, audio, GPS logs, receipts. Dated. Indexed. Cross-referenced. A second file was prepared for her employer, a sanitized version, free of drama but clear enough to raise questions. HR violations implied. Ethical conflicts underlined. I wasn't going to ruin her publicly, not yet. I was going to make her answer questions in rooms she thought she controlled. At home, I kept playing it normal. That night, I let her straddle my lap, whisper about second chances. Her perfume was back to the one I remembered, jasmine, vanilla, but now it smelled like a mask. She said, "I think we're healing." I said, "I know." She fell asleep curled against me like nothing was breaking. But the next morning, she found a letter in the fridge, next to her oat milk. Folded, simple. No greeting. Just a line. "You told him I wouldn't do anything. Let's see if you're right." She didn't say a word for 2 days. But the fear had bloomed behind her eyes. And I wasn't done planting. She flinched when I came home. Not visibly, not enough for someone else to see. But I saw it. The way her shoulders tensed for half a second. The way she overcorrected with a smile. Ashley was unraveling. That letter in the fridge had been the first domino. And she knew it. But she didn't ask questions. Didn't confront. She just started hedging. She made dinner 3 nights in a row. Wore old favorites. Started sending midday check-ins like we were dating again. Thinking of you. Miss your face. You want anything from Trader Joe's? The final push came Saturday. She booked a couples massage. Said, "I think it's time we prioritized us." I agreed. Smiled. Let her set it all up. While she was in the shower, I slipped her phone from the bathroom counter. No lock now, she'd disabled it, maybe to prove trust. I checked her messages. The thread with Christian had gone silent. She'd deleted the contact again. But I had the backups. What mattered was that she thought he was out of reach. And that made her reckless. I forwarded one last damning screenshot to the hidden drive, her, in our bedroom mirror, wearing lingerie I never saw in person. Captioned, "You won't have to wait long." Timestamped 4 days before that therapy session where she cried about rebuilding. By Sunday, it was time. I told her we were going to a winery, just us, no distractions. She lit up like a sparkler. She wore white. She always wore white when she wanted to be forgiven. But I didn't drive her to a vineyard. I drove her to a conference hall, a small, rented room I'd reserved under a neutral name. She asked once, "Where are we?" I parked. Turned off the ignition. Someplace we won't be interrupted. Inside, there was a single table. 2 chairs. And a sealed envelope with her name on it. She sat slowly, warily. I placed my phone on the table. Hit record. "You've been lying," I said. Calm. Flat. "I've known for weeks." Her face shifted through phases, confusion, denial, panic. "What are you talking about?" I opened the envelope. Inside, the timeline. Photos. Messages. The transcript of her call, word for word. Her words, "He's passive. That's why I can't respect him." She reached for the papers. I didn't let her. She tried to speak. I cut her off. "Don't insult me with a performance. You had your chance to be real." She folded into herself. I slid over the legal documents, pre-signed, notarized, ironclad. This ends now. You'll sign this today. You'll vacate the house by the end of the month. No contest. No drama. Her eyes flared. You can't just. I leaned in. Quiet. Controlled. If you don't, these go to your job. To your friends. Your parents. You chose chaos. I just kept receipts. She stared at the papers. Shaking. No one will believe you, she whispered. I smiled. I don't need them to. I just need you to know I could end everything if I wanted to. 10 minutes of silence. Then she signed. She didn't cry. She didn't rage. She just sat there, small. Like the mask had finally rotted away and all that was left was ash. I stood, gathered the papers. Thanks for your time, I said. She flinched again, that same flicker of disbelief that I'd actually done it. And then I walked out. She didn't leave the house right away. I'd given her a deadline, 30 days. She used every one of them. Not to pack, not to apologize, but to negotiate. She tried subtle at first. Soft tones. Old memories. The robe. The playlist. When that didn't work, she pivoted. You're really going to throw it all away over one mistake? She never said his name. Not once. As if the silence might erase him. But I didn't engage. I slept in the guest room. Ate out. Disconnected the shared calendar. Stopped finishing her sentences. And then, when she realized I wasn't bluffing, she got mean. You're enjoying this. You want to hurt me. I didn't reply. Because the truth was worse. I didn't care enough to hurt her. Not anymore. The execution was already in motion. Step 1, the silent leak. A curated packet, timeline, screenshots, a polite but clear summary of infidelity, mailed anonymously to her HR department. No accusations. Just facts. A reminder of corporate policy about personal entanglements affecting professional environments. Step 2, social recalibration. I met with a few of our mutual friends for drinks. Chose my words carefully. Never slandered. Just planted questions. She's been acting different. We've been distant, I guess. I'm trying to be fair. You know how it is. People draw their own conclusions when you hand them breadcrumbs. And Ashley had given me an entire loaf. Step 3, digital erasure. I revoked all shared logins. Removed her from the house title. Froze the joint account. Transferred my paychecks to a new bank. The last shared password, our old Netflix, I changed at 3 a.m. on a Tuesday. Petty. Maybe. But it was symbolic. By the end of the month, her tone shifted again. Desperate. I don't want to go to war with you. You don't have to burn it all down. You're not like this. She was wrong. I'd always been like this. I just never had a reason before. On her final day, she stood in the hallway with 2 suitcases. One hand on the doorknob. The other clutching her phone like it could still save her. She looked back once. I never meant to hurt you. I nodded. You didn't. You meant to replace me. Then I closed the door. 10 minutes later, her access was gone. Security system recoded. Locks changed. Mail rerouted. Christian never showed to help her move. 2 days after that, I got a call from her mother, polite, confused, asking if something happened. I told her to ask Ashley. Let the weight land where it belonged. That week, I forwarded the final file to Christian's business email. Subject: thought you should know who you're investing in. No threats. No emotion. Just documentation. 5 days later, his site went down. A week after that, Ashley showed up outside the house. Didn't ring the bell. Just stood there. Eyes hollow. Hair pulled back tight like it was the only thing holding her together. I watched from behind the curtain. Didn't move. Didn't wave. Let her see what silence really looked like. I changed my routines. Not because I had to, because I wanted the house to stop smelling like her. Different coffee. New sheets. Rearranged the furniture. Nothing drastic. Just enough that if she ever walked back in, she'd know the center had shifted. Ashley left behind one thing, a single earring under the bathroom sink. Gold. Cheap. I threw it in the trash without a second thought. The lawyers finalized everything 2 weeks later. Divorce filed. Assets split per the agreement. She got her car. A small payout. No alimony. No stake in the house. She didn't contest. She didn't dare. Christian vanished. Shut down his business. Some rumors swirled: fraud, breach of contract, a disgruntled husband with receipts. No one said my name, but the timing spoke for itself. Ashley's friends didn't rally. Some went silent. Others stayed polite, distant. A few messaged me privately. You deserved better. We always wondered. She's not who she pretended to be. It didn't matter. I wasn't looking for vindication. I wasn't building a new circle. I was rebuilding space. The house became mine again. Not because of the paperwork, because of the quiet. I could hear the fridge hum now. The creak in the hallway floorboard. The wind brushing against the siding. I started reading again. Cooking again. Left the TV off more nights than not. One evening, I found myself at the Anchor Room, the same bar where I first saw her reflected in his sunglasses. Different crowd now. Different music. I sat at the same table. Ordered a drink. The bartender looked at me like he recognized something, not my face, just the weight behind it. You waiting on someone? He asked. I shook my head. No, I said. Not anymore. I left before finishing the drink. Outside, I passed a couple laughing. She had her arms wrapped around his. He leaned into her like she was gravity. I didn't feel bitter. I didn't feel hopeful. I just felt done. That's the part they never tell you about betrayal: it doesn't break you all at once. It cuts in slow layers. And when you've peeled the last one back, what's left isn't a wound. It's a vacancy. I didn't try to fill it. I didn't rush toward some manufactured healing. I let it be empty. Let it echo. Because in that echo, I could finally hear myself again. And I was the only voice left that told the truth.